In the digital age, social media and technology has become an integral part of everyday life in Ghana, facilitating communication, information sharing, and economic opportunities. However, how can we safeguard its use to mitigate potential risk and promote responsible online behavior?
Oh, we need strong regulators. We need very, very, very strong regulators, because they always come up with some fancy thing about, but we are a growing democracy. We should allow freedom of expression. We should allow freedom of this, freedom of that. We are a growing democracy. Really? Democracy means freedom of expression, and freedom of expression means freedom to express your idiocy? No. There must be people who are paid to regulate things and make sure that these things can be said, these things cannot be said, and this is the way to do things. But there's no regulation in this country, and it's not only in creative arts, everywhere. You know, talk about land, talk about church, talk about everything is free for all in this country. You know, and when everything is free for all and we're all freely flying for all because they are free, sooner than later we all come crashing. And when we crash, that's the time we'll start thinking, we should regulate this more so that we don't come again. We should regulate this so that we don't crash again. But so far, everything points out to the fact that we are preparing to self-destruct. It's very, very sad. But it looks like we are preparing for it, to self-destruct as a people. Because where we are going is very, very, very sad, you know? And I think some writer wrote this. He says, there's nothing more dangerous to society than a person with nothing to lose. So they say there's nothing more dangerous to society than a person with nothing to lose. And I add this. The only person more dangerous to society than a person with nothing to lose is the one who created the circumstances that there are people living in it where they have nothing to lose. Somebody created that circumstance, and they are more dangerous than the people that they created. And along the line, there's going to be an explosion. You know, so let's all fight for Ghana. I'm glad you have started this. Let's all rethink, and let's all start some dynamism. You know, and I guess the way I'll end is that let's learn to evolve. You know, when we talk about evolution, it means you are now thinking better, you are now understanding better, you are now communicating better, you now have a better way to tolerate, and you're getting better at that. That's when we talk about, oh, this person has evolved. If you haven't evolved like where we are now, and our party interest is superior to the national interest, program for self-destruction.
I asked KSM, in what ways can creative art experts and media practitioners harness the power of social media to engage and connect with their Ghanaian youth in a meaningful and impactful manner?
That is a really, really, really poignant question as to how you can use social media platforms and avenues to reach the youth, and not only reach them, but to get them to rethink certain decisions and actions, and basically get to their mindset. I think that's the bottom line. You know, how can we use social media effectively to get to the mindset of the youth? Because the youth have a mindset. So the question is it a positive mindset or a negative mindset? And I'm thinking that you are asking how, as creative artists, how we can reach the youth through our platforms to get them to develop a very positive mindset. And it's a great question, you know. I think the first thing that we need to understand as creative artists is that in order to get the attention of the youth, or the attention of anybody, period, in order to get the attention, we need to find that relevant thing that will link to them, something that they will consider relevant, you know. Because when the minute they disregard something and do not treat it as relevant, then it goes in one ear and goes out the other. The only time it stays is when it hits them and they say, wait a minute, This is very, very relevant. Let's pay attention to it. So if we are using social media platforms to try and reach them, to get them to change their mindset, then I think our first business as creative artists is to find out how do we communicate that message to them, and in order to understand how to communicate that message to them, I think all of us creative artists should understand two very, very, very important aspects of communication. How do you combine levity and gravity? The youth, you all are youthful. They want something exciting, something they can relate to, something on the side of gossipy, something practically as irrelevant as you will think of. Because the things that trend on social media most of the times are the gossips. They're quite irrelevant stuff that do not add value to anybody, but those are the things that trend. So here you are now trying to use the same medium where gossip and irrelevant things are the things that trend, to reach them, to give them a mindset, to change that mindset. So levity, I talked about. Levity is how do you attract them? Something light, something bordering on the lines of it's a gossip, almost ridiculous, But gravity is something very, very serious. And I think to attract the youth on social media platforms, you should present the thing as almost as an issue of levity. It's something for them to look at, chill, laugh, relax, And then on top of that, you hit them with the issues of gravity, So the first thing is just to get their attention. And the important thing is when you get the attention, you try to sustain that attention. And once you sustain that attention, you can hit them with something that is heavy, that they will listen to and that they will pay attention to. And I figure that's the way to reach the youth now. Most of us who are communicating with the youth, sometimes we come out as very, very serious. 10 things you should do and never forget to be successful. These are the 5 principles of success. Stuff like that. They hear that all the time, so it doesn't have any serious impact. But imagine using social media and talking about the 5 most useless things that doesn't cross people's minds. You'll be surprised how they'll pay attention to that. And while you have the attention, then find a way to balance it and sift in some issues of grave concern. So I think at the bottom line of everything I'm saying so far is, as communicators trying to reach the youth, we should find that balance between levity and gravity in our communication. We should understand their state of mind. I'm from the old school generation, but I take my time to understand the youth, not to understand them, but at least to see where they're coming from. I may not understand them, I may never agree with them, but I know where they're coming from. And I understand what makes sense to them. And even though from where I stand I may think it's very, very foolish, I have to understand that they see it as relevant. So how then do I take something that I consider irrelevant or foolish and get the attention, attract that attention, and use that platform to get them to rethink?
Thank you for watching. Please kindly subscribe to the YouTube channel, Skybase TV. Like, share on all social media platforms. Join the conversation with me with the hashtag, The Social Media Diaries. I am Bernard Benzisenyo. Peace.